What if I told you that 2 simple kitchen ingredients could restore something you thought was gone forever? Let me explain. A urologist and men's health specialist with over 3 decades of experience. And today, I want to talk about something that affects millions of senior men. Something that quietly steals confidence, intimacy, and joy from their lives. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to be this way. What I'm going to share with you is based on science, supported by research, and proven in real clinical practice. It's about understanding how your body works. And how 2 simple, natural ingredients can support better circulation and vascular health. Let me start with a question. When was the last time you felt truly energized in the morning? When did you last wake up feeling strong, confident, ready to take on the day? For many men over 60, that feeling has faded. Not suddenly, but gradually. 1 year after another. And nobody tells you why. The truth is, the first place aging shows up is not in your joints, your hair, or your face. It's in your blood flow. The decline starts quietly. Deep inside the arteries you cannot see. There's no warning. No alarm. No flashing light telling you what's happening. But it's there. And the first place it becomes noticeable is often in the most personal areas of a man's life. Because the arteries in the penis are the smallest in the body. When circulation weakens, even slightly, the effects can be dramatic. This isn't about weakness. It's about biology. Let me be clear about something. An erection is not about willpower. It's not about desire or effort. It's about blood flow. The penis is a vascular organ. It depends entirely on the speed and pressure of blood filling its chambers. Without strong circulation, nothing happens. No matter how much you want it. No matter how hard you try. Think about that for a moment. All those times you blamed yourself. All those mornings you looked in the mirror and felt less than. All those nights you avoided intimacy because you feared disappointment. What if the problem was never about you as a man? What if it was simply about circulation? Inside your body, something silent has been happening for years. The arteries that once opened wide with ease have begun to stiffen. They've narrowed. They've lost flexibility. And the smallest vessels, the ones that matter most, are the first to show the damage. A 5% reduction in blood flow can mean a 50% loss in firmness. That's the biology behind the heartbreak. That's the science behind the silence. And yet, nobody teaches men this. You're told to accept it. You're told it's just age. You're told there's nothing you can do except take another pill. But pills don't rebuild arteries. They don't heal damaged blood vessels. They force a temporary reaction, but they don't fix the root cause. So what does? Let me introduce you to something most men never learn. 2 ingredients that, when combined, can support vascular health in a way that neither can achieve alone. Vinegar and olive oil. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds too simple. Too ordinary. How could something so basic make a difference? But the science is clear. If you find this information helpful, you're welcome to subscribe. And if you're ready to continue this journey with me today, just leave a comment below. Press 1 if this resonates with you. I'd love to hear from you. Let me explain how this works. Olive oil is something many men already use. It's part of the Mediterranean diet. It supports heart health. It reduces inflammation. It nourishes the brain. And that's all true. But when it comes to the delicate vascular system in the penis, olive oil alone is not enough. Here's why. For arteries to expand and allow blood to flow freely, they need nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells blood vessel walls to relax and open. Without it, the arteries stay tight and narrow. No matter how healthy your diet is. And olive oil, on its own, cannot trigger nitric oxide. It needs a catalyst. That catalyst is vinegar. Inside vinegar is acetic acid, a compound that triggers a cascade of reactions in the body. When acetic acid enters the bloodstream, it signals the endothelium, the inner lining of your arteries, to release nitric oxide. And when those vessels open, blood finally has the freedom to rush in with force, speed, and pressure. That's the difference between hoping for a response and experiencing one. But the impact of vinegar doesn't stop there. It also lowers blood sugar spikes after meals, protecting the delicate tissues that support blood flow. It reduces inflammation that silently stiffens arteries. It helps reduce visceral belly fat, the dangerous fat that interferes with hormone balance. And it restores balance to the gut microbiome, which controls inflammation and hormone regulation throughout the body. When the gut heals, the blood vessels relax. When the vessels relax, circulation improves. And when circulation improves, a man feels his strength return from the inside out. Now, here's where it gets powerful. When vinegar enters the bloodstream, it sends the signal to unlock the arteries. But when olive oil arrives at the same time, carrying healthy monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, it acts like fuel on a flame. It improves absorption. It protects the endothelium from oxidative damage. It stabilizes the nitric oxide being released. Together, they create a surge in circulation that many men haven't felt in years. The combination turns a quiet spark into a rush of blood strong enough to awaken a system that's been dormant for far too long. I've seen this happen hundreds of times in my practice. Men who haven't felt morning vitality in months suddenly wake up different. Husbands who avoided intimacy out of fear now reach for their wives without hesitation. Men who thought their bodies were finished begin to feel warmth returning to their hands and feet. Clarity returning to their minds. Power returning to their cores. And the emotional shift is just as real as the physical one. It's the moment a man stops feeling like he's fading and starts feeling like he's rising. It's the moment hope returns. Because when blood flow comes back, everything comes back with it. Confidence. Connection. Desire. Identity. So how do you use this correctly? Most men fail not because the solution doesn't work, but because they never learn the right method. They rush. They try it once or twice and expect a miracle. And when nothing happens immediately, they walk away defeated. But the problem isn't their age. It's technique. Here's the method. 10 to 15 minutes before your two largest meals of the day, take a tall glass of water and mix in 1 to 2 teaspoons of vinegar. Apple cider vinegar or red wine vinegar work best. Sip it slowly. Let your body prepare. This is where the biochemical switch happens. Vinegar blunts the spike in blood sugar that damages the endothelium. It gives the vessel walls a chance to relax instead of tightening. This one step alone can change how your body responds for the next several hours. Then comes the second part. At least once per day, ideally at dinner, build a salad that includes extra virgin olive oil and vinegar together. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 1 to 2 teaspoons of vinegar. And real whole foods like leafy greens, tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, or avocado. When these ingredients enter the bloodstream together, olive oil acts as the carrier and protector, while vinegar triggers nitric oxide release. It's like turning 2 keys in the same lock. Alone, nothing moves. Together, it opens. This is where the surge in circulation begins. This is where warmth returns to the hands and feet. This is where the first spark of strength returns to the body. And here's something men rarely admit out loud. The first signs of change are not always physical. They're emotional. A man begins to wake up feeling lighter. His mind feels clearer. His breathing feels easier. He walks up a staircase and doesn't stop halfway. He feels something shifting. Something he thought was gone forever. And then one morning, without warning, the body sends a signal that feels like a resurrection. Not forced. Not artificial. Just natural. just alive. But none of this happens by accident. It happens because of consistency. Because a man decides that he's not done yet. And when he makes that decision, the body responds like it's been waiting for that moment for years. Let me share a story. I remember one man, 71 years old, who sat in my office with his shoulders tight and his hands trembling. He looked down at the floor and said in a quiet voice, "I haven't had a morning signal in more than a year. I feel like I'm disappearing." His wife sat beside him, holding his hand. Both of them afraid to hope. He had tried everything. Supplements. Diets. Exercise. Nothing worked. He told me he felt like a ghost in his own house. Pretending to be fine while dying inside. We started the vinegar and olive oil protocol. Nothing dramatic. Nothing complicated. 3 weeks later, he walked into my office smiling for the first time. He told me the signal had returned one morning. Sudden and strong. And he stood in the doorway of his bedroom and cried. Because he thought that part of him was gone forever. "I feel like I came back to life," he said. "I feel like a man again." Another patient, 64, confessed that intimacy had become so stressful, he avoided it completely. He feared failure so deeply that he stopped touching his wife altogether. The silence between them felt heavier than steel. But after just 4 weeks of consistent use, his tone changed. He described warmth returning to his hands and feet. Energy returning to his mornings. And one night, a moment that felt natural again. Not forced. Not pressured. Just real. His wife wrote me a letter saying she got her husband back. Not just physically. But emotionally. These stories matter because they prove something most men forget. You are never too old to heal. Age is not the end. Decline is not destiny. Your body remembers how to rise when you give it the chance. And when blood flow returns, so does everything that makes life feel worth living. Connection. Joy. Intimacy. Pride. Hope. Now, before we finish, there's something I need to say with absolute clarity. Never apply vinegar directly to the penis. Never. The tissue there is incredibly delicate. And the acid in vinegar can burn it, irritate it, and create long-term damage that no treatment can fully reverse. I have treated men who came into my office in pain after trying to apply harsh substances to their skin, hoping for a miracle. What they found instead was injury and regret. Healing never happens through desperation. It happens through understanding. The true path to restoring function is not about attacking the surface. It's about rebuilding what lies beneath. The arteries. The blood flow. The chemistry that allows your body to respond naturally and powerfully. The answer has always been internal. It has always been circulation. The men who succeed are the ones who choose discipline over desperation. Consistency over chaos. Patience over shortcuts. They're willing to give their body the conditions it's been begging for. The reduction of inflammation. The protection of the endothelium. The steady rhythm of restored nitric oxide. They choose daily habits over false promises. And slowly, steadily, the body responds. Because when blood flow returns, something much bigger returns with it. The man inside you who still wants to feel proud of his reflection. The partner who wants to connect without fear. The version of yourself who remembers what confidence used to feel like. This is not about vanity. It's about identity. It's about the quiet dignity of knowing that you are still alive in every sense of the word. Still capable. Still powerful. Still worthy of intimacy and joy. So here's my challenge to you. Start today. Do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for permission. Pour the glass of vinegar water before your next meal. Build the salad tonight. Walk for 20 minutes. And do it again tomorrow. And the next day. And the next. If you do, life will respond. Your body is not finished. Your story is not closing. You are standing at a turning point where everything that felt lost can return. Not through miracles or fantasy, but through biology, discipline, and a decision to act. The combination of vinegar and olive oil is not a gimmick. It's a natural, scientifically grounded tool that opens the pathways your body has been waiting for. When you use it consistently, when you pair it with small daily habits like movement and better food, something remarkable begins to happen. The arteries soften. Nitric oxide rises. Circulation strengthens. Warmth returns. Confidence rebuilds. And the part of you that felt asleep begins to wake up again. I have watched men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s experience a transformation that others told them was impossible. I have watched men walk into my office with their heads down and walk out weeks later with their shoulders back and a light behind their eyes that spoke louder than words. I have watched marriages repair themselves. Not through therapy or negotiation, but through the return of intimacy that had been stolen by silence and fear. You deserve that feeling. You deserve to feel strong again. Connected again. Proud again. You deserve mornings that remind you that you are still here. Still capable. Still powerful. You deserve nights that end with closeness rather than distance. You deserve to stop surviving and start living. If this message moved you, if it lit even the smallest spark inside you, then do something with it. Share it with another man who needs hope. Leave a comment and tell me where you are starting from. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because I am committed to walking this road with you. Until the day you look in the mirror and see strength again. And I am telling you with every ounce of conviction I have, it is not too late. Your best chapter might still be waiting to be written. And the pen is in your hands right now.